yourself! Brace your faces for some gut-wrenching metal!
It's time to rock out with your bot out. It's Clash with the Manatee. Radio Free Cybertron's home to all things hard rock and heavy metal. Now here's your hosts, Gabriel Owens, Anthony Brucale, and Billy Pridemore.
All right. Welcome everybody to Clash with the Manatee, the internet's only home for all things hard rock and heavy metal. All the rest are just a bunch of fucking posers. I'm Gabriel Owens, the Salty Seaman. With me always, Anthony Brucale. What's up, Ant?
Howdy. What's going on?
Today we thought we'd do a little experiment for anybody who grew up 80s and 90s, the metal fans aware of Guns N' Roses did have another album. In fact, it was a double album, post Welcome to the Jungle, or Appetite for Destruction, I should say. And it kind of gets maligned and or forgotten, despite having a lot of big hits on it.
That is correct. I mean, it's funny because those are my favorite Guns N' Roses records. And I know when you texted me the other day about what we were planning on doing here, I was like, this is going to be hard. And it's going to be real hard because there's a lot of songs I like on these two records.
And I think that's the point. Like, we're two guys who actually really do enjoy this double album. And it's hard to even quantifying it is like, is it two albums? Is it really just a double album? Because they were sold separately, which is weird.
They're sold separately, but the art was pretty much the same. If you had, I mean, I look on eBay every so often. I don't know if you remember Headbangers Ball from back around that time, but Ricky Rackman showed off this promo version that was given out to like a handful, not a handful, but something like 2,000 or 3,000 people at most, maybe even less than that. And it was kind of like a leather-bound version with one CD on one side, one CD on the other, and it folds out like a wallet. If you remember that, but they're on eBay. They're about $300 to get one.
I like to get the vinyl. Probably I like to hang it up. But yeah, one of when it comes up in different discussions I've seen, a lot of criticism I see is, people who don't outright dismiss them as like, there was basically enough material on there for one good album. It was a bit bloated and kind of showing how GNR was full of themselves, that they thought they required two albums to release their genius. And people disagree. I don't know if that's a consensus, but it's definitely something I see a lot.
Yeah, and I would say, look, going through the songs again, yeah, you could definitely pare it down a bit, and I don't know. I don't feel like the ones that you need to pare down are necessarily the Guns N' Roses songs. So there's probably an album and a half worth of material here. There's probably a good album and an EP with a handful of other things.
It's an interesting point because I was thinking the same thing. Like, what could be turned to a B-side for a single, and one particular song I think could be the centerpiece of an EP, and I'm probably have to kick off just for the length.
Yeah, and there's also, if you think about the first album, the first EP, so you had Appetite for Destruction, and you had Lies, and they feel like they're one record in a lot of ways, and they were at least smart enough to move all the cover songs onto the Lies EP, and some of the alternate versions and things like that. Like, that feels like, even though that's 8 tracks, that's a full album for some bands, and if they threw 2 more songs on it, it'd be a Slayer record. I mean.
Well, they only had the one cover on that. That was from their first EP, their independent EP, Mama King.
Yeah, 2. No, and then there's an April Wine cover on there, I think.
There's 8, so it's like
there's another. There's definitely another.
Patience, 1 in a Million.
The alternate version of You're Crazy.
The acoustic You're Crazy, and one other on the new side, and then the back side is Mama Ken, Move to the City, Nice.
Move to the City isn't that a cover?
No, I think that's original. If I'm wrong.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, Reckless Life is a cover, and so is Nice Boys.
Reckless Life.
Yeah, Move to the City is the only original actually on there, but Nice Boys is by Rose Tattoo, Reckless Life technically isn't a cover. It was a Hollywood Rose song,
it's from our old band, and we redid it. Yeah, okay. It's semi-quasi. It's like Anthrax doing Milk.
Yeah, only that every single member of Guns N' Roses was a writer on that song, plus one other dude.
Right. Yeah, the other guy from was it Hollywood Rose?
Yeah, I'm looking to see who this last guy is, Chris Webber, because I don't know who he is at all.
There were so many lineup. If you read any of the books, the lineup changes in those early days between like the 2 or 3 bands that ended up being GNR is kind of ridiculous.
Weren't a lot of those dudes in L.A. Guns?
Yeah, that's how they got the name. It was the guy. It was the LA Guns guy and Janie Gunn, Jody Gunn, and Axl Rose are in the same
Tracy.
band. Tracy Gunn, yeah, they were both in the band at the same time. So that's how the name came about, as the story goes. But they were so high and fucked up on shit. Like, I've read 3 GNR autobiographies, and even they're unsure on a lot of it. They've done their best to try to figure it out, which is why the original doesn't have. I think it's just listed as songs by Guns N' Roses, as opposed to this album, which is very, very specific on who wrote what.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it goes from there on out, because the credit section of Chinese Democracy is out of control.
Yeah, Illusions was starting at that point. Yeah.
And you know what? And before we get into how we boiled this down, I think it's interesting that if you just take the last two tracks from each one, Coma and My World, they kind of hint at what was to come with, even though Chinese Democracy came out so much further later, but just the use of samples and the use of electronics and things like that, and the song structures, there's a lot there.
They're both they're both Axl works, so Sand, Slash, and everybody else. So that makes sense.
Yep.
Anyway, the point is this: we're going to try to pare this down to one album. I had originally thought, we stick to a track number, but that makes it. But we're thinking about it like, well, if it's going to be a CD, it has to fit on the CD. So.
Oh, so we are. I thought we were doing 12 tracks.
No, I think we can go with the CD length. So.
Okay.
Once we've got our list, we can go back through and pair again if we're over 80 minutes, which was the.
That makes this really hard.
Well, I think you get a couple more tracks. I think you could squeeze out 13 to 14 on here.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of good 2-minute tracks on these albums, and that's. See, so what was your approach before we start? Like, I haven't actually made my track listing yet.
No, I have not.
Okay, neither have I. But I have 2 approaches. One, I want to know what, your approach as to how do you want to go through these songs, and 2, are we putting them in an album order? Because I feel like almost like a baseball lineup, an album track listing has a particular way of being laid out.
I think there's some that would make sense, but yeah, I'm thinking what was a single, what was successful, even though that is looking back on it with hindsight, I think you can't overlook that. You have to look at, because we have 80 minutes, you have to look at track length, and you have to look at quality, and that's subjective on our tastes.
Right.
So I think that's how I'm thinking we're going to break it down. And if we're over, we got to go back and pair something off, and then when we pair something off, we can put something shorter on, we can do that.
Okay.
But sticking to, even though technically, I brought this up, the most albums back then didn't go to 80 minutes because they still made cassettes, and the industry cassettes did not go past 76 or something, which I don't know why, because a blank tape could go 120, but
quality of the tape inside, though, and then you're talking about weight and shipping costs and all sorts of other back end things that probably we have no idea of.
Right. I just remember the Dream Theater album Awake left off a track from the cassette version because it went like 79 minutes on CD, and they took one of the tracks off for the cassette version.
Yeah, and same for Faith No More's Epic. Had 2 bonus tracks on the tape that weren't on the CD.
The other way around. I had the tape. I didn't have the CD as a kid.
Yeah, the last 2 songs, Woodpecker from Mars and something else,
It was War Pigs, I think.
Was it War Pigs? Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, there was definitely bonus tracks on that cassette that weren't on the CD.
Regardless, we're going to keep this to 80 minutes. I think that's, even though given it was 91, that would probably be incorrect. But it's Axl. He could have said no, you'll make an 80-minute cassette. And the other last thing, as when I came up with this idea, I didn't realize that Ant pointed out, they did release a single album version of this. 6 from one album, 6 from another. And we have not looked at their track listing from Geefen. We will look at it and compare at the end. And see if Geefen agreed with our list, which is probably going to be way better.
Okay, cool. Because, I was thinking this through in my head, and when we were originally talking about doing this as 12 songs, as okay, pick 12. was like, okay, well, one album, there's 30 songs here, so we're cutting more than half.
32.
And then 16 and 14.
Oh, that is 30, huh? I'm not good at math. This is going to make the timing section really fun.
Oh yeah, when we start doing base 60 math, it's gonna be
Yes.
fun. I'll tell you that. No, when I was just comparing them, like we got to cut more than half. And I was like, okay, well, then certain songs perform certain functions
Right.
within an album,
And, that can
and
still,
which one does it better without even paying attention to time. And so, and then I was like, man, we're gonna have to talk about which one of the ones that were hardest to cut, like. And I haven't made my list. You haven't made yours, but like if we were just to do this as a list of 12, and I'm like in my head, I'm going, it's the hardest ones to cut are I feel like Dust and Bones and 14 Years serve the same purpose. So if I was to cut one, which one would it be? And I don't know because I like them both.
Right. I don't think there's anything on here I absolutely hate. I think it's like because this album came in my possession right at the perfect groove in my life of I'm really into hard rock and metal. And they were the biggest band on earth, and I listened to these 2 discs pretty religiously through high school. So there's nothing on here I go like, God, I can't stand that song, and I skip it. So
Yeah, there's nothing here. Maybe the alternate version of "Don't Cry," but that's only because if I'm gonna listen to one, I want to listen to the regular version.
yeah, I think it's the first one we cut is the alt lyrics. Number 1, it's longer. Number 2, the original is the one that was the single. So I think we could. I don't know if you want to wait on that, or we can just go ahead and say "Don't Cry" alt lyrics is gone.
No, I think there's certainly that one that can go.
Yeah.
Um,
So right off the bat, we're taking off track 13 on Illusions 2, Don't Cry. That's going into the discard bin.
I'm trying to figure out if there's a way I can highlight this in Word so so I know it's out.
I just deleted it and moved.
Uh,
I
I
copied
know
it.
it's your file. I only have read-only access, so I can't do anything to it. But
That's weird. Okay.
I'm gonna make a handwritten list.
There you go. Old school.
Just in and out. So
So that's the first. That's the easiest one to do because you got 2 versions of the same goddamn song, and one's twice the length, and you're fighting for a length. Yeah,
no, they're the same time.
that would be. I would say "Don't Cry" becomes a B side. "Don't Cry" alt lyrics becomes a B side of "Don't Cry," which I think it was actually. I think there was a 3rd version too, as well, somewhere floating out there.
There's definitely. I mean, that's one song that predates the first album, so there's many versions of that out there that was on their demos and stuff.
Along with "You Could Be Mine," which we will get to. But first, let's start with track 1 on Illusions 1, Right Next Door to Hell.
Okay, so what are we doing? Are we eliminating tracks, or are we?
We're going down the list. We'll pick which one to keep and which one to
Okay.
get rid of.
Okay, are we keeping separate lists?
I have a keep and discard list, but the discard can be moved around at the end if needed. So
No. But what I'm saying is, are my list and your list going to be the same at the end, or are we each coming up with our own track
we
list?
got to come up with a consensus. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So I think for first round we should probably do keep. Well, yeah. I guess it's either we should make a layer of has to be in. Like, is there a definite?
Yeah, we can skip over if we can't come into a consensus. How about that?
Okay. Okay.
So Right Next Door to Hell, I say keep. That is a perfect start off to my mind. That is, and also very reminiscent of the last album. It's a good tie. Like that sounds like that. That sound could have been on Appetite.
I would agree with you there. I don't think it starts the record, but yes, it's a keeper. I like it, and it's close. I'm going back through the songs, and I've been listening to these. I think I found a better song to start the whole thing off. But
Well, it doesn't have to be the starter, but
no, but I feel like it definitely should be. It should be if it's in the running. I don't know if it stays by the end, but by the end of us getting it down to 70 minutes, or 75 minutes. But
no, we're doing 80. We're doing full CD length.
okay, 80 minutes. Okay.
But yeah, I on that end, I do think it's a good starter, and like I said, it ties to Appetite better than anything else because it has an Appetite feel more than I think any track on here.
Okay.
Track 2, Dust and Bones.
I'm borderline on this one. Because I think 14 Years is the better song that does the same thing. But I like the idea of Izzy and Duff singing tracks somewhere on a final version.
That
of
is
this.
exactly why I say take it off. It's like you've got so much room on here, and a mediocre song that's like got Duff singing on it is like, I don't think it's needed. If you're going to have to cut it, that becomes a B-side.
See, the thing is though, there's also a couple other things that when you think about this record that they added Dizzy as the full-time keyboardist, and there's a lot of keyboard in the song. There's a lot of there's a lot of that sound there that it still fits with everything they do, and there's still a bit of attitude, and I think that's very important to me as far as Guns N' Roses goes. There's got to be some sort of attitude to things, and yeah, but I can cut it. I can feel like that one can go.
Yeah, there's other songs with Duff. If you really need to hear Duff singing, there's plenty of other songs on here. But yeah, I say it goes, and I like the song. Nothing against it, but for me, it's gone. Said it'd probably be a good B-side for something.
Yeah.
All right, first cover up, "Live and Let Die," the Wings Paul McCartney song.
Gone. Get it out.
I'll go with it. I'll go with it.
Get it out. I know it was a single. It was a big hit, but if we're cutting this down, I feel like covers got to go.
I feel so too. It's like the first album didn't have covers on like that, so that could go on the future EP possibly. So I have an idea for an EP, and I'll see if you agree with it.
Okay.
All right, now we get to a huge single, also part of the video trilogy, which we have to keep in mind here, because we're talking about one of the more important video, other than maybe Trapped in the Closet, a continuation video here of "Don't Cry."
I don't know. Where's Izzy?
Where is Izzy? Why are we running through the darkness with a light at the end of the tunnel with a naked axle?
Yes, and why are we standing on this roof?
And what's Shannon Hoon doing here?
Yes. He is not doing heroin. That's why he's there. Too soon?
We'll probably right after him and Slash and Izzy. Well, him and Slash ran around the corner and did some heroin. So
I think you gotta hold it. It's definitely. I don't know if it makes the final cut, but I think for the first run through, you have to hold on to it.
Okay, I was gonna say that was a definite gimme, but if you're shaky on it, we'll leave it for now.
I'm shaky on it only because there are longer songs that do the same thing, and if we're talking about time, it may end up going for one of the more epic tracks.
Well, that's the thing. It's a shorter of the ballads. It's a shorter one. It's still almost 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, all right. So tabled for now. "Perfect Crime."
This is the song I was thinking of that they should have opened the record with. This is a definite stay for me. It's got the attitude. It's got Axl right in your face off the top. He's dropping MF bombs. It's just there's so much that feels like something that like Use Your Illusion, that Appetite for Destruction just ended, and we're just picking up where we left off.
Okay. I was a little more on the fence with it than you are, but I do really, really like the song, so I'm going to call it a keeper with you.
Okay.
Go along with that.
Well, like I said, we're probably going to have to do a second round.
All right. So you ain't the first. Gone.
Yeah, that can go. It's fun. It's jaunty, but it's
a piss tank rehearsal version of a song that never got a full version. That is B-side written all over it. Like, in my opinion. But I still quote the end of it. "To the bar, that's take." So it'll always have a place in my heart. But for this list, it's gone. "Bad Obsession."
It can go. As much as I like harmonica in a metal song, it can totally go.
All right. I don't feel that strongly about it. "Back Off Bitch." Down in the gutter, lying in the ditch.
Yeah, see, I was listening to that one the other day, actually this morning, and I can go either way on it. I could see it being cut. I could keep it for its attitude, because I think, there's some key elements that make up a GNR record, and that attitude, that punk rock attitude of just, I'm gonna do my song, or I'm gonna punch you in the face. Like, that's half the formula, or it's a big part of the formula that is Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I think it stays. It's GNR attitude through and through. So boom, but it is a bit long, so that one might have to come back and be cut for time.
Yeah, that might be a cut too.
Now here we get to other people singing. We got Izzy's Double Talk and Jive. Get the money, motherfucker, because I got no more patience.
See, you telling me that now, I had no idea that was Izzy singing that one.
I think it's him and Duff.
Well, there's certainly overlays of Axl, all the low end stuff
Yeah.
and the chorus and stuff.
I think the
I had no idea.
I think the lead is Izzy, the lead vocal on this.
That makes sense. I just figured it was Axl doing his low voice through that part, but I like it. Again, that's another one where it's just there's attitude and there's a lot there and it's quick. So it's like almost like if I had to take one out, it might back off bitch might go before Double Talk and Jive just because it's shorter.
Yeah, that's a good attitude song. I think it's just well done. I think it's like I think that one kind of tells you what was what Izzy was going to sound like when he started the Juju Hounds. Like that could have fit on the Juju Hounds record,
which I've never listened to.
They're good. It's a lot more bluesy, Aerosmithy kind of thing. All right, now one of the biggest song on both records. It comes in 9 minutes. It's one of the all-time biggest videos ever in MTV's history. I think right behind Thriller, November Rain. And if anybody knows any song from this album, it's probably that one.
Yeah. And November Rain is what causes the problem for me with Don't Cry, in that they serve pretty much the same purpose.
I just can't see cutting it. Like this in hindsight, like that song was so fucking huge, and it was. It is the only problem with it is the length. When we start having to pare down it, and like that's just going to be a time sink. But I can't really cut it. I just can't.
Yeah, so let's see where we're at, because that's like that is when you think about
5,
putting it
10,
in
13, 21 minutes, 22 and a half minutes, about roundabouts.
With
November,
that song?
Yes, with November Rain.
Really? So that's half the time?
23 minutes out of 80? Well, we're not quite at halfway point yet.
No, but I'm saying that's 9 minutes out of 23. That's almost half of the total time.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it. Right. Yeah, I can't see a reason to eliminate it. The problem is that I can see it taking out better songs because we're keeping it.
It's so overplayed. Well, in our era, it was so over fucking played. I mean, that song was everywhere, which is the reason I always confuse people. Just think GNR is just Appetite. Is like, God damn, you weren't there for November Rain. That song was massive.
Yeah, these two records were massive. If you just going through this, I forgot that. And maybe let's just jump to the next song, because I forgot this was a single.
The Garden.
The Garden
was not a big single, but it was a single, and it has.
It was probably, I think it might have been the last one. I don't know offhand if it was the last one, but it was close to the back end. It was after Estranged and Dead Horse.
No, Estranged is the last single.
Really? Yeah. I thought Dead Horse was.
It was Garden of Eden. No, I think it's Garden of Eden, Dead Horse, The Garden, then Estranged.
Wow.
Something like that. But yeah, this one got like very little daytime play on MTV. I think it was regulated just a Headbangers Ball, but it is a love letter to New York City, the video. Which I think what the song is about, New York. And it's got Alice Cooper on it, but I think it's got to go.
Yeah, I can cut it.
It's a good song, but yeah, it ain't nothing special. Speaking of the other Garden song, which I always thought was weird that they put them back to back, Garden of Eden, I think it's a definite stay.
Really? See, I can cut it. I love the riff. The song is good. It's a burner, but when you have songs like Right Next Door to Hell and Perfect Crime and Double Talk and Jive,
but it's more of a burner. And that rapid fire rapping is just it just does it for me. Like I still quote that song all day long.
Okay.
Table it for now.
Table it for now. I mean, it's short. It's not like it can be squeezed in. I think there's a couple of these songs that sit around the 5-minute mark that can totally go. So it's not necessarily a number of tracks versus a timing issue.
I think our next one up is probably gone then. Don't damn me. 5
minutes. Yeah. I mean, it's a great riff. It really is a great riff. But yeah, it can go.
Yep, it's got to go. Nothing much to say about it. It's not a bad song. Bad Apples, kind of leaning the same way. It's got some great quotes from it. Great fucking, see your laundry hanging up all over town. That whole little ramble he does is, I think, pretty damn cool. But how strong is that track otherwise?
Yeah, otherwise that one can go.
Your laundry could use washing hanging up all over town. Something like that. There's a whole little rant he does in there. I really thought it was well lyricized. But yeah, I think because we're doing pretty good on time right now, but we haven't got to the second disc yet. So
and we haven't gotten to any of the really long songs that could compete for this.
Dead Horse.
For me, it's a keeper. It was a single, which I want to keep in mind. Was that the third part? No, it wasn't the third part of the trilogy. So,
no.
But
the video is hilarious. It's all live footage, and it actually shows like Axl with a sense of humor. Like he's showing a shirt someone brought that says Axl's a piece of shit or something, and he's like laughing and showing it to the crowd. He's eating.
That's where he's playing guitar.
He plays guitar in the intro, and he like eats a cupcake someone threw on stage at one point. Like it's a fun video. It actually shows like Axl isn't completely full of himself. I'm sure they had to go through hours and hours of footage to find those bits, but
I dig the song. I mean, it goes from the acoustic intro to to a heavy part in the middle. It's a good track. I mean, and for 4 minutes, it feels longer, and not in a bad way. It feels like it does a lot for 4 minutes.
Then she said she was going to wreck my car. I didn't know what to do.
And that scream at the intro is just awesome.
All right, I'll go with you. We'll take it. Oh, but then we get to song I hate to cut because it is so good, but
it is.
It's got to go. We're talking about Coma.
It's got to go. It's got to go for time.
Just for fucking time, Coma has to go. This is where I say there should have been a follow-up EP centered around Coma, and a bunch of these other tracks should have been like the rest of the track listing.
I am with you. The more we talk about it, I was thinking about it today. Like, if I was to make my own track list, like, I might put Coma over November Rain because I just want that song instead.
Right.
But thinking about the EP and everything else, like, if they were to do an EP, Coma has probably the most direct sound to the Beatles. And if you're going to take Live and Let Die off, like the intro to Coma feels like a Beatles song. The weirdness of it feels like White Album era Beatles to me.
It is a fantastic, epic song, but it is 10 fucking minutes, and it's pretty much, you've met another hardcore GNR fan if they're talking about Coma, because most people don't.
You know what bothers me about the song though? In the middle of that song, I was just listening today when it's kind of like this nice gap, and it's just bass and a little bit of acoustic guitar, and there's no keyboards in there, and I'm like, you hired a keyboard player for this record. Why are there no keys in there? Like, even just this atmosphere, there's nothing in there, and I don't know if that's deliberate or what, but it kind of irked me, and I was like, well, but then again, the song is weird, and that would be the right normal thing to do, and instead they went the opposite.
Yeah, but that's completely pinned by Axl. It's like the last song on the second disc. He wrote the entire thing. It's a couple he wrote completely, and a lot of them are very long, other than My World, which we'll get to.
And again, Coma would feel very much at home on Chinese Democracy with like Shackler's Revenge and Chinese Democracy and some of the other songs on there.
I think it would too. That is it for disc 1. We are up to 23 and a half, 27. So I'll say 28 to make it even.
Okay.
28 minutes. There's a lot of time left.
That's not bad. And the thing is, I feel like, I don't know how you feel was of one album versus the other. I like 2 better, but there's certainly songs I can get rid of faster off of 2 than off of 1.
Yeah. I think I like 2 better overall. The latter half of 2, I think, is just an amazing little piece. So that's where I'm going to have a real hard time.
Yeah, and the problem with 2, as much as I love 2, the good songs are so much better, I think, than the good songs on 1. So, like, the songs that are really good on 2 are just so good that they shouldn't be left off. And there's ones that I feel like the other ones are just, cut it. There's a very few in here that I'm really going to fight you for as far as cutting.
All right, I'll start off Civil War, which I like. I think it's got to go. I think that's track 2 on the Coma EP.
See, no, I'm one to keep that there.
Ooh,
Wasn't a single and still was a huge hit. It was the B-side to
you could be mine, wasn't it?
You Could Be Mine, and it was huge, and it still gets radio play on classic rock radio. It's still
It's 8 minutes
big.
though.
I know. 8 minutes, and there's another long song at the end of this record that has to be on here, and but it's a hold. Let's put it as a hold for now because honestly, there's two like I feel like keeping Civil War versus keeping two of the mid pace, two of the faster songs that are 3 minutes on Illusions One. I'd rather have Civil War.
Okay, I'll table it for now. 14 years.
Now that we're playing with time,
Yeah, that one's short, and it's a really goddamn good song.
it is.
Sorry,
It's not that short though.
It's not that short, but there's some real fucking emotion in that song.
There is, and I feel like it's a hold. It's not. It can get cut.
We're gonna go through a lot of holes here.
No. I think we get after this. We get into a round of yeah, we can cut it. And there's one. I see one hold in the next maybe 5 songs.
Okay. Yesterday's is gone.
Gone. It's got nothing for me.
Pictures you only see. Also a single, but
yeah,
it was a pretty big single too. That was the video with all of them, like all their kids' pictures in it. I think.
I remember there was a video. I don't remember anything about it.
It was they weren't. I don't think they were in the video. It was just a bunch of pictures of them as kids. Like it was one of those like phoned in, like Soundgarden's Spoon Man, which is just Spoon Man and a photo of the band that keeps getting lit on fire. It's one of those the band just phoned. It's like we're not showing up for a video shoot.
And it's cheaper.
Here's some photos of us from when we were kids.
Yep.
Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Got it.
Gone.
Covers can go.
In fact, I wouldn't even put this on the B side. I would put the live version with Aerosmith on a B side. That is fantastic.
Isn't that the one was that the single? Wasn't because
yes.
They released this before the album came out.
Yes, that was the single. Was the live version with Steve Perry and with Perry and Tyler? Yeah. And he has like, give me some reggae, a little bit in the middle.
But not with Steve Perry, because that would be completely
not Steve Perry. No, the other Perry.
Joe Perry.
Joe Perry, yes. So yes, that's gone. I said, not the. I would, that could be lost to the sands of time. The studio version and just the live version is on a B side somewhere.
Yep.
All right, push down to keep my columns straight. I haven't worked in admin in a long time. I don't know how to work columns anymore. My shit's all fucking out of order. All right, get in the ring.
This is the one where I'm like, it's a hold because I like this song a lot.
I think it personally, Axl's personal problems with the media is a fucking B-side song. I'm sorry. As fun as it is, I mean,
in concept, but the attitude level is so high on this one. Just calling people out by name. Like, who does that?
Rappers do.
Rappers do, and they call out other rappers. But like, he's calling out people in the press.
Well, Eminem called out Benzino from The Source.
Oh man, I mean, I like it.
Dr. Dre slapped D Barnes.
Yeah, that's right.
But I say table it for the moment.
Yeah, that's the one I would say table for.
Shotgun Blues.
It can go.
I wouldn't fight for it too much, I guess.
No, here's the thing. Like, if you wanted, but I feel like there's songs on the first one that serve the same purpose. So, like, if you wanted to say Double Talk and Jive versus Shotgun Blues, I'll probably go Double Talk and Jive.
I'll go Double Talk and Jive too, if you're gonna put the two together. Next one's a no for me. I don't care about the length breakdown.
Yeah, let me hear you now. It's a good track, but yeah, that could be next album material.
I'm disagreeing. I really love that track. I don't want to lie. I really.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No. Let me hear you
now. Yeah. I mean, let's put it as a whole because that's 7 minutes. Like again, if you're gonna say Civil War versus Breakdown, I'm taking Civil War.
All right. Did we? We have not put a song on. We've not put a keeper on here yet from album 2.
We're getting there.
We got four. We got four keeper. We got four tables. Pretty tied up.
Okay.
I think pretty tied up has to go. That's GNR attitude right there.
See, and that's one I want to put on as a table, and I'll tell you why. Normally, if I'd be with you, and I thought about this route for a while, I'd be with you because it's an okay song, but the last piece of that puzzle for Guns N' Roses, like there's the love song side, there's the attitude side, and then there's there is a bit of a sexual depravity
Right.
to some of their songs, especially on the first record. So there's your Rocket Queen and your Anything Goes, and there's only one track in out of both records that serves that purpose, and that's pretty tied up. And I think to keep that link through, it needs to stay.
Right, so it stays. Pretty tied up.
But I can be convinced to cut it. I'm just saying for the first round.
I said no.
It's keeper.
I said it's a keeper. I don't know what.
All right.
You're arguing against nobody. I think you misunderstood me.
Oh, apparently.
All right, got our first keeper from confirmed keeper. Okay, come on, don't highlight everything, stupid thing. Pretty tied up. Stay locomotive.
That can go.
It's long. I like it a lot.
It's long, but I keep wanting to hear it in my head, and I keep hearing coma. I can't get I know, baby got a locomotive. Okay, like it's in my head, but like I can't recall it quick enough. It can go.
Some people think that I'm insane. Take a closer look. I'm not to blame. If love was blind, I guess I'll find myself game. People don't need to hear.
Yeah, that song. Okay, no. You rolled it. You rolled it a little bit in my head, and now I'm going. You know what? Song feels not incomplete, but not perfected
It's long.
yet.
The thing is, it's long. It's at 9 minutes. And
Yeah.
that song could have been cut for time. Like if it was edited down to a 5-6 minute song, it probably would have been might have been a little tighter. So fine. Duff sings this.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to do this one, or you want me to do this one?
I said bye. It's the weakest.
Bye.
Song,
Yeah.
Weakest song on the whole double album, I think.
I think there's one whole side of another record that's just Duff and Izzy singing.
I don't even want to see it on a that could have gone on Duff's like solo album. I don't think that had a place on even a B-side.
Yeah. If you believe in him, you could have had that one.
Believe in me. Yeah, would have worked on there. Estranged.
I say for me, this is a keeper.
Yeah, I don't see how you can't keep it.
It might be the best song on both albums.
If it's not, it's damn close.
Yeah, I mean, I have a personal attachment to it. My friends and I all have like a personal attachment to it. It's and it's one that's held the test of time. Like I don't think it was as big of a single as some of these other songs, but
no, it exploded briefly on MTV just because everyone wanted to see how the trilogy ended, but then it just kind of like I don't get it with the dolphins and everything, and then it kind of died off. But it had like a explosion for like a couple weeks. People trying to figure out what the hell was going on.
Plus, there was a ton of money poured into that video. If you watch that video, you realize
it's the best video of the three.
I know, but if you realize like all the things they had to do to pull off some of those shots, like they had didn't they have an aircraft carrier or a giant ship?
It was a giant freighter. I just watched the video not too long ago. But yeah, it was.
So they had to rent that ship and then get helicopters to shoot it.
It was an expensive ass shot. People could argue the November Rain video is better, but I think that video is just there's so much going on and there's so many cool layers to it, and I love that video. And it just goes along because it's just everyone's wearing white at one point, including all the cops, and what does that mean? And the Charlie Manson shirt.
Yeah.
It's like, why is he wearing a fucking Charlie Manson shirt? It's a Charlie Don't Surf shirt, which was a thing in the early 90s. Ask your parents, kids. Combining Apocalypse Now with Charlie Manson. Because why not? All right, so that's a keeper. Well, let's finish this off, and then we'll do a time count.
Yep, and then see where we're at, and what we have, and what needs to go.
All right, you could be mine.
It's got to stay.
Got to stay.
That might be my other favorite song.
First single, and it was huge. It was Terminator 2 soundtrack. It's a fucking fantastic song. That's GNR attitude all the way through. It was actually cameoed on the lyrics page of, was it Appetite or the Lies EP, like the end of the credits. It says, "With your bitch slap rapping in your cocaine cunt tongue, you get nothing done." Remember they used to do like a cryptic line for the next album, like every album.
I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it was Appetite, actually. I think it goes back that far. Like, Axl had the idea for this part of this song going way back.
My favorite thing about this song is the bridge. I mean, the verse and everything. There's two things. The bridge and Duff's bass playing on this song is just so perfect, especially in the bridge, because there's that part where Axl starts, I don't want to call it rapping, but there's that faster, really fast lyric part at the end.
Yeah.
And the bass and the drums pick up, and you can
drum
feel,
too.
yeah, and you can just feel like the way Duff plays through that. Like I don't know if there's anger in his picking because he has that kind of sound to it, but there's just this certain something to it that it just gets me pumped up, and that one little line in there as leading right out of that is just so good. The bass part, the bass line in there.
I couldn't see this album without that song. Of any of them, I think November Rain, You Could Be Mine, or two songs I couldn't imagine any version of this album not having.
Right.
And last one, easiest to put.
Oh, we already cut. We already cut Don't Cry. Yeah. So,
but it's easiest to cut because it's a minute. It's easiest to keep because it's a minute if we need time to fill.
I say we table it. I could do My World. It's so weird and it doesn't fit anywhere on either record. But that's the only reason I would say cut it, because I think for time you could probably squeeze it in somewhere. But
we can bring it. Like I said, if we end up with a minute 25 left over, we can bring it back as a filler. That's so I'll cut it for now, but I'm gonna put a caveat on that one that this could be. Oh my God, what did I just fucking do? All my formatting just went to fucking shit.
Oh no. Why you do that?
I highlighted too much crap. Okay. All right. So there we go. We have combed through the list. Oh, you go ahead and do. I'm going to count up again. So we were at 23 and a half, 28 with Dead Horse, 32, 33, 42, 7, 48 minutes. We were only at 48 minutes.
We're only at we're way ahead.
Yeah. We cut a lot. I think we can almost get all our tables in here.
That is, 46:59, 47. So we're just at 47 minutes.
That's what I had in my head. So
Okay. All right, so that leaves us with...
We got Don't Cry, Garden of
We
Eden.
got just short of 30 minutes to play with. We got 28 minutes.
444, 241, 620, 13, a little over 14, 18, 21, 23, 24 something, 31. Almost, yeah, it's almost.
Okay, so let's add in all the tabled ones and see where we're at.
All right, with all the tabled ones, I think.
Yeah, so give me the tables.
I think,
I'll add them up.
Okay. Don't Cry.
444.
Garden of Eden.
Garden of Eden is 241.
Civil War.
742.
14 Years.
421. Okay.
Get in the Ring.
542.
Breakdown.
704.
And that's it, because we took off My World. Do we have a minute 24 left over?
I'll add it in just for shits and giggles. Minute 24. That puts us an hour 20 minutes. Hour 20, 37. So that's 80.
That's 80. That's exactly
80 minutes and 37 seconds.
Exactly at 80.
Actually, we'd have to cut 30 seconds, so My World would have to go.
Oh, I thought it was like point 30 seconds. Okay. I know. So there's basically there's 56 seconds left over. So yeah, that would be it. Our tabled ones make a full album.
Yeah. So once we take My World off, and yeah, that makes a full album. So let's you want to recap the list for everyone?
I'm trying to cut it into the keep box here.
Okay.
Just trying to number it because it sees numbers, and I'm like, no, don't number it, but it's being stupid. So
Well, we pulled this off into a 15-track album, which is kind of what we discussed when we were talking about this ahead of time.
just funny because both albums are one is 16 and one is 14, and we got the perfect average of 15 in the middle. All right, I'll just leave the spaces and just grab all these last few. So yeah, we didn't have to cull, and we didn't have to just brought in our tables, and we've got a 15 track. We got Right Next Door to Hell, Perfect Crime, Back Off Bitch, Double Talk and Jive, November Rain, Dead Horse, Pretty Tied Up, Estranged, You Could Be Mine, Don't Cry, Garden of Eden, Civil War, 14 Years, Get in the Ring, and Breakdown.
Yeah, that works. That works for me. I'm like trying to think of the one, like what song that I would want on. The only one that I'm like, man, if we could find a way, would have been Coma. But
Yeah, that Coma takes out at least two others. That Coma would take out
2.5 songs,
yeah.
most likely.
Or like you have to swap like Get in the Ring. Yeah, Get in the Ring in 14 Years was about the same. That would you could cut those two and put them in.
Yeah, and I gotta leave those two in. So I mean, Coma can lead the EP. I think that's a perfect fit. You go Coma, Live and Let Die, Knocking on Heaven's Door. That's the first 3 tracks of your EP, and then Dust and Bones.
Yeah, and maybe then it said like other ones. Like I think about everything.
Yesterday's.
Yeah, everything else on there could be a B-side, except like I said, if I was anything, I would cut completely. It would be so fine. And even that, it's like not like I hate that song or anything, but it's just there. So Duff could have saved it for his solo album. So anything else you want to do a track listing?
I don't know if we need to with 15 tracks. It's kind of a lot, but I'll give you a little insight because I could probably go first 4 or 5 and like the closer. I always feel like I said, it's kind of like a baseball lineup for me. Like so, I like speed at the top. I want to have someone fast at the top. So I put Perfect Crime would probably be the one. Something to set the tone of the record, and then I probably go Civil War 2. Because it's kind of epic, but it's the way, and I don't know if they do this anymore with albums, but the way they did in the 80s and 90s, they usually put the first 3 singles as the first 3 songs. And it didn't really apply to a band like Guns N' Roses because they were huge, but for a band people didn't know so they usually try to slip a single into those first couple of tracks. So I think Civil War being kind of like what would today probably be a preview track. It wouldn't be the single, but it would be the song that would have like a lyric video ahead of the record coming out.
Right.
That would be my number 2. And then I'd probably put a hit somewhere in number 3, which would probably be like You Could Be Mine. And then 4, like in baseball, you have your cleanup hitter at 4, you go in power, you go power ballad in the 4 slot, so you go November Rain or Don't Cry right there in the 4 hole, and then everything else is kind of can be whatever it wants.
4 Hold by Slayer.
Yes. It's a story for another day.
It's a story for another day. Yeah, I'd say you end it with Estranged or Breakdown.
Ooh, Estranged at the end. I didn't think of it that way, but sure. Or Back Off Bitch, something else that just reeks of attitude.
Yeah, it's kind of I like the fade out, kind of like the slow, kind of finish out. I don't know. I mean, it's up for debate. But okay, so
certainly.
But I think those are good ideas. And now let's go take a look at what Geefen put out.
It was called Just Use Your. I think it was called Use Your Illusion. And it had let's see, it's in the Guns N' Roses discography article on Wikipedia.
Single disc.
Yeah, it's under compilation albums. Use Your Illusion.
I'm looking at Ultimate Classic Rock.
Oh man, you're gonna hate this track listing.
Oh, I bet I will.
Oh man,
Okay.
Some of our obvious choices are the first ones on the record.
them side by side here if I can.
They only got 12 tracks out of it.
Right. They don't know how to use time like we do. Okay, so.
And it came out to 63 minutes, so they certainly don't know how to use time like we do.
All right, so we'll edit it here. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, so here's the Geefen list. They did Live and Let Die, which we cut. Don't Cry. You ain't the first. Oh, are you still there, Ant?
I'm here. I'm laughing because it gets worse.
November Rain. Okay. The Garden again. Two of our immediate cuts. They're like, yeah, we're keeping those strong ones. Dead Horse. Which I could have kept it. We do have Dead Horse, don't we?
Yeah, no, we do.
Yeah, okay.
But you know what it is? It looks like they can't, with the exception of You Ain't the First, which I guess they only threw on there because it's 2.5 minutes. They said do 6 from each, and they kept the singles.
Yeah. No, because they don't have Garden of Eden on here. Garden of Eden was a single.
Oh. Well, they kept the bigger singles, and maybe Alice Cooper wanted some more money. Or he had something in his deal that made them put it on there.
Yeah, that was not a big single. That was a pretty... Live and Let Die was a big single. Don't Cry was. November Rain, obviously. Dead Horse wasn't that big either. But yeah, You Ain't the First and The Garden are odd choices for the first track. I would have definitely swapped some of those out. Because what do we have? Double Talk and Jive, Back Off Bitch.
Oh, we
Perfect
had
Crime.
the GNR type songs on there, and they have the singles type songs on there.
Not even the singles plus You Ain't the First and the shittier, and in my mind, the shittier singles. Okay, so and Lose Your Illusions 2, they got Civil War, 14 Years. We picked those. We kicked off Yesterday's.
Right, but it was a single.
Yeah, Knocking on Heaven's Door, which, yeah, Estranged. And then the Don't Cry alternate lyrics. The first thing we kept it. Are they fucking, I don't know if that was for time, but yeah.
But how do you not put No You Could Be Mine?
Yeah, No You Could Be Mine. That's one of their biggest singles, and that's a big fucking single.
Yeah, no, it's not like one, one that wouldn't be on any greatest hits record.
Right, it's probably on every other greatest hits record.
Hold on, so I'm reading up on the article. They deliberately went with songs that didn't have profanity, with the exception of one word on 14 Years, and
they wanted this in Walmart. Oh, that makes
a
lot
Walmart,
of sense.
Kmart, yeah.
Oh my God, that's Garden of Eden couldn't make it, and
I guess they took out the middle of Knocking on Heaven's Door, so it's an edit of that song.
The telephone bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm trying to get a screenshot of that. What are you doing, stupid computer? Okay, that is not what I wanted to do. Okay, I'm getting a screenshot of this for the video. So, yeah, we definitely had. Okay, well, at least there's an explanation for it. So, I'll accept that. It's still some odd choices.
Yeah, it's clearly a marketing ploy, but it's not a very good one. Because the point of selling Guns N' Roses, even to teenagers, whatever, is that it has that edge to it, and it has that, it was the first record I had that had curses on it and had a parental advisory sticker on it. Not these two records, but Appetite was.
First one with I don't know if that was my first one with profanity. With profanity was probably Slave to the Grind.
Okay.
He's a couple. I don't think but it didn't get the parental advisory. But I think it's got a couple of shits and one fuck on it.
Well, Yeah, you had the edited version then, because they swapped out one of the tracks.
Right. They cut out the track, the one track. That's right. I did have the edited version, but
yep.
He does have a fuck in there, which they
and
a couple of shits. But that's screenshots. Okay, I'm trying to save this so I don't lose it. And yeah, I don't know what my first parental advisory one was. What did I get after that? Metallica, Anthrax. Oh, probably Slayer's "Decade of Aggression." It's probably my first one.
Okay. Oh. See, I kind of cheated there because Guns N' Roses Appetite was my first, like, it was like my second or third tape, and it's my first metal tape. So, I mean, other than DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh
Yeah, I had
Prince,
all those too.
yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah. I only had a couple of metals tapes at that point. I didn't even have a CD player, but I told this story. My aunt worked for a Warner Brothers warehouse, and she got a bunch of extra, and she says like, anything in here you want, and there was the Slayer, and I'm like yeah, I've heard of those guys. They're supposed to be fucking, you know, the beasts of metal. So of course I grabbed it. Didn't know. The first time I listened to it, I'm like, what the hell was that?
yeah. I have a friend of mine who first time he listened to it, he like gave him nightmares, so he gave it to me.
So yeah, I believe that was my first one with the parental advisory sticker on it. But other than that, yeah, that's going to wrap it up before we get on to more trips down memory lane here. Yeah, I think we made a really good album. Definitely better than Geefen's, but I get why Geefen made their version. I think the biggest regret here is we couldn't get Coma on here without cutting 2 songs we really wanted to keep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the hardest one to cut, and I don't think I'm gonna.
Yeah, but I said like that backup plan for that would be a Coma EP. We put some of the other good ones that we cut as fill out like a 5-song track listing. That would probably cut that, and then the rest everything could have been a B-side.
Yeah, yep.
So I think that would have been a solid record. I think everybody. I think people maybe bitch less. This is what came out minus the double album, or who knows. People just have their nostalgia for Appetite for Destruction, and that's the only GNR they listen to. So be it. They're wrong. They're missing a lot of good music. Anything else to add, Anthony?
No, I think that sums it up.
All right. Thanks for playing along, buddy. Hopefully we can do this again soon. Maybe we can bring Billy in.
Absolutely, dude. We'll clash with.
Clash with. That's it for the Salty Seaman. Anthony Brucale. This has been Clash with the Manatee. We'll see you guys around.
See you.